Alright, as of today, we have made it to the end of Module 1. We're on Lesson 16 now. It's the very last one. We are going to have the end of module assessment after break. The end of this is just 100% word problems, so that the students are going to be using what they have learned with regard to place value and the concept of relations between numbers in different place values and how that works. So I'm going to have them actually teach you what we learned in terms of solving word problems today. So all students made a 3x5 card like this, and where they had the letters on it, and then they went through and wrote on there what are those letters alluding to. So the very first one is going to be, because you've got cubins, C for circle, circling the numbers and the units in a problem. Underline, to underline the question, or questions, because some of these have more than one question to them. The next one is to box, so you make a square box around the action words. So what's actually happening here? It helps the student then determine, is it that the numbers are increasing or decreasing? Are they being spread out? Are they being combined? Things like that. And then evaluate, the E, evaluate and eliminate, to determine what you really need to know. If it's an eliminate, I welcome them to cross it out. Number sentence, the creation of an actual number sentence. So you've got to write that. S, show work, and then check it. Does the answer actually make sense? So I'm going to do with you today for our practice problem, I'm going to go ahead and do this method on number 1, and then I'm going to have for homework question number 2. So let's scan this out just a little so it shows up better. I'm clicking minus. There we go. Okay, plus one time. See if we can get this so you can see it good. It says on here that a gardener has installed 42 6/10 meters of fencing in a week. He installs 13 45 meters on Monday, 9 5/10 on Tuesday. He installs the rest of the fence in equal lengths on Wednesday through Friday, so that means Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. How many meters of fencing did he install on each of those last 3 days? So we can kind of think about this in terms of circling our numbers and units. So right here is numbers and units circling it. And this one, numbers and units circling it. This one, numbers and units and circling it. And then we get over here, these are also 2 numbers because Wednesday through Thursday is actually a 3 because it's 3 days. The next thing we're going to do is be underlining the question that we have to answer. At the end of this, we need to be able to say, he installed this many meters of fencing on each of the last 3 days, and that's going to give us our end result. Boxing the action words. So, installed this much one day, he installed this much on the others, and then we've got equal lengths. That's actually kind of an action word because it's not different amounts like it had been, and it's also to not this one, which is installing the total. And so we can kind of then think about evaluating and eliminating. I don't think there's anything that we can really eliminate. Here, if this is the fence, the whole thing is 42 6/10 meters. The whole thing. We know that if this is Monday, it's 13 45 on Monday. And then we come to Tuesday, and it's only 9.5 on Tuesday. We have to figure out how much the rest of this came to, which was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so if we combine these 2, so we can say that we're going to have Monday plus Tuesday is equal to part of it. We're going to call that, let's say A. And then we're going to say we're going to have 42 6/10, and we're going to subtract from that this amount here, and then that's going to tell us the total for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday together. So let's figure out what Monday and Tuesday, if we combine them, what do we get? So this is kind of our number sentence here. This also too is part of another number sentence because we're going to be subtracting an amount that we don't have yet. So we're going to say 13 and 45 hundredths. We're going to combine with that 9 and 5, 9 and 50 tenths, because there's nothing in the hundredths place. So that's 5 and 0, that's 5 and 4 is 9, 9 and 13, I know it's actually not going to be 13 because that's 10 plus 3. It's going to be 1 less than that because 9 is 1 less than that. So that gives us 12. Carry, because we're still combining. 1 plus 1 is 2. So this part right here came out to 22 and 95 hundredths. So Monday and Tuesday is 22, 95 hundredths. Now we have to say 42.6 the whole week. We're going to take that away. So 22.95. That's our number sentence, and it's going to be equal to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday combined. So let's figure that out. 42 and 60 tenths, because we're going to need something in the hundredths place. 22 and 95 hundredths. We can't take 5 from nothing, so we have to borrow. That becomes a 5. This we pull one of our tenths over and it becomes 10 hundredths. 10 minus 5 is 5. We have to do it again because we only have 5 tenths. We're taking 9 of them away. So we'll take 1 and bring over 10 of them into the tenths place. 15 minus 9, I know I can add 6 to 9, and that's going to get me to 15. Now we can't take 2 away from 1, so we have to borrow. We bring in 10 more, and now it's an 11. I know that if I add 8 to 2, it gets me to 10, so it's going to be 9 to 2 to get me to 11. 3, if I take away 2, it's 1 left over. I can think 1 plus 2 is 3. So for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it was 19 and 65 hundredths of a meter. Right here, all of this is 19 and 65 hundredths of a meter. But we're not quite done, because we need to think about, if we break this into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, in order to answer our question, it has to be each of those 3 days. So now we're going to have 19 and 65 hundredths. Our number sentence is going to say divided by 3, because it's 3 days, to get our answer. So now when we go to actually work this out, we have to use the house. 3 goes into 19 and 65 hundredths. How many times? How many sets of 3? We can think 3 times what do we know that gets us close to 19? It's going to be 6. That's going to be 18. Find the difference. I know if I add 18, I add 1, it gets me to 19. So that's a 1. Bring down the 6. Bring up the decimal. Now we think 3 times what gets us close to 16, or how many sets of 3 gets us in there? 5 sets of 3 gets us to 15. Find a difference of 1, bring down the 5, and we do it all over again. This time 5 times 3 is 15. There is no difference, so there's nothing left to divide. As far as the length of this fence here, we've divided it into 3 equal pieces. Each one of those sections happens to be 6 and 55 hundredths of a meter long. 6 and 55 hundredths of a meter for each one of these sections. So that is going through and using this. And if you think about it, and you check your work like it says to do at the end of that post-it note I showed you, we think 13 plus 9, that's going to bring us to, let's see, 9 plus 3, that's going to be about 22. 22 plus 6, that's going to be about 28. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So we're in the 40s. And then we have all these extra pieces. So we know those are going to add up and probably bring us to the 42.6. So kind of thinking about, does it make sense? Our answer does make sense. So here's your homework. I'm going to fold this so I can get this out of the way. Here's the word problem that I want my students to do with their parents. So you have your card that you made earlier today with the Cubens, C-U-B-E-N-S. So you have the one that's complete with everything. I'd like you to use that to teach your parent how to do this word problem. Jenny charges $9.50 an hour to babysit toddlers, $7.45 an hour to babysit school-age children. Here's your scenario. She babysat toddlers for 9 hours and school-age children for 6 hours. How much money did she earn altogether? So remember, you're going to circle your units and your numbers. You're going to go through and box your action words, underline your questions, how much money in all. The next one, Jenny wants to earn this much money by the end of summer, so how much more does she need to earn to meet her goal after doing this babysitting? How much more does she have to go? All right, I'm going to hit pause so that you can copy the question. I'll see you tomorrow.